and you're early. I was playing, and of course I wrote a song. So I just want to, before I start anything, I just want to get this out of my head. So I'm gonna just get it out of my head, so I don't have to stop, and then we'll start this thing. Let's see if I can do it though. Go something like this. You are so ordinary. We'll keep you safe with drugs and alcohol. You are so ordinary. We'll keep you warm inside these little walls. There'll be no more tears. There'll be no more fear. As long as you do exactly as you are told. Yes, I'm nervous, it's my reaction. 1,000 years have been erased from us, and all the madness and all the failures gave us the warning. Use your will for love. Some people tell me God has the answers. Maybe we're asking all the wrong questions. And you give what you get, and you get such regrets. I don't care, I don't feel the need for more. What you touch, you can't see. What you see is morphine. Yes, I know. In the end, I'll give it all. Yes, I'm nervous. I'll die of sadness. I'm fucking nervous. I'll die of sadness. Watch me bleed. Hi, everyone. Whoa. Hi. Thank you for being here. Oh gosh, let's see. Who's here? Who's here? Oh, hi, Claudio. Hi, Wendy. Hi, West Teesside. No, I've never done Duran Duran covers. Rita, you can always ask me bad questions. I'll be like, Jack P. Knights, hi. Scott, hi. Oh, now it's really scrolling. Hi, Krista. Hi, Mai and Chris. How are you all? Oh man, so yeah, I was playing because of something that happened during the week that I'm going to explain and talk about, and that'll be the theme for this evening, whatever that is. But but yeah, sorry, I got stuck on that whole Duran Duran cover thing. No, no, I would never. Just sorry, no. But anyway, shh. But shush. Oh man, I'm in a mood. But so welcome. And I just played Nervous, which was the track I was going to open with. But I was playing and I got kind of caught up. I don't know what I was doing. I had some extra time. So I started to play and it's really funny. It just goes without saying that if you come and practice, things will happen. And so I was just messing around and suddenly I was singing something and I was like, oh man, I got that interesting take on a lyric there and I'm going to try something. And then next thing you know, it's 7:59 and I'm like, "Oh my god, what am I doing?" So I hit record at the same time that I hit stream because there was nothing I could do to hold it off, otherwise it would start late and yada yada yada, you get it. But my week has ended fantastically well, but it's been a ride, a long one actually. So let's see, where can we start? Where can we start? I guess I will show you. So I'm playing Lima. This is not an official announcement because the date, well, I doubt that the date's going to change, um, but yes, I'm playing Lima. And so this week I had to go to, Los Angeles and start visa processes and things of that nature. And it's always, the funny thing is it's kind of fun for me. Everyone kind of doesn't like doing it, but I like doing it for the road trip and all the official stuff. So, yeah, so I went to LA on Monday and was preparing to do all my visa stuff so that I can play abroad, checking my passport, make sure everything is okay, all that kind of stuff that you got to do. That's right, Sebastian on Facebook, Lima. With T for two, in fact, which is going to be fun. I think it's their first time in Lima, so that's going to be interesting. So, you know, anyway, but yeah, so that's what among all the other things. And when Barcelona, he asks. That I don't know. Remember, these things are never up to me. I don't set up the shows. I just write songs, paint, sing, take photographs, all the creative, whatever the heck it is, and then someone else hopefully takes care of that stuff. Because if I had to take care of it, I'd starve. That's a fact. I'd probably starve because I actually don't know how to book shows. I don't think I would do it. I know the structure of shows, but I'm not a booker, so I don't book. But yeah. So Wendy says, I just got my passport today, expired during COVID. I can travel international again, which is awesome. See, so it's kind of the same for me. Mine didn't expire. I was lucky. Mine doesn't expire until 2026, I found out. So yeah. So it's been a fun ride this week, I must say. But some interesting things happened that I wanted to discuss. And well, there's no way to talk about it than to talk about it. Um, so this week, I finally nailed the last page down on the Hope book. So that's good news. Um, so that part's done. Now it's just checking things over. It's going to be basically going over the pages with a fine-tooth comb to make sure everything's okay before I send it off to printing. And then there's other things I've got to do, but the basic part of it is done. I finished the last page, which is kind of cool. kind of cool, I must say. So yeah, I did that, and what happened was that I started to have this strange. I don't know what I'd call it. I want to call it like a strange creative anxiety coming over me as it was coming towards an end. Now, get it. The whole thing is not done yet. So I'm literally like the pages are done. So all the what's left is basically to correct things. So I may go and find a typo somewhere and then have to change it, that kind of thing. Hi, Alex. Hello, Elvis and Brian and other people that are joining. And thank you. Thank you for the nice, kind comments. So anyway, there I was getting down to the last pages, and I haven't discussed this, but I guess I'll discuss it now. When I'm working on these things, I have to take breaks. Obviously, you can't just stare at a screen for the entire 12 hours and expect good things to happen. So I work and I'll take a break. And usually during the break, I'll go into the kitchen and probably either draw something, paint something, work on something that's not music or art related, or the reverse, whatever it is. So, oh, that's nice. I'll read that later. Um, that's really cool, actually. I'm sorry. See, I get distracted on the chat. So hopefully it doesn't scroll. Oh no, it's scrolling by so fast. I'm going to have to say it, but we'll save that one, I think. But apparently I inspire cats too, which is nice. Nice. I don't know. Do they hiss? Do they meow? I don't know. That's funny, but I like it. I like it. So anyway, getting back to my really drawn out story that's going absolutely nowhere. Um, I take breaks, and during these breaks, I'll have these creative bouts where I'll just play music. But for whatever reason, this particular week, I got drawn into playing with an emulator 2 plugin, but for lack of a better word, an emulator 2 sampler, which is a software version of an Emu emulator, which I had an E3 for a time. And you're probably wondering, what the hell does this have to do with anything? I'll get there. I promise. But so I wanted to play with this thing, and I'd made some comparison notes, and I think I posted on Twitter like different screenshots of things that I was doing. And basically, it was drawing me in, and I was like, no, I just wanted to practice. I don't want to write stuff right now. I'm in the middle of this book. Then I got to work on the book for the new record, which, by the way, comes right after this one. So it's not like I'm done with anything. It's just one goes into production while I'm working on the next, which I have to finish. Oh my God, so much work. Yeah, so much work. But anyway, so I did the work, and I'm playing this thing and I'm really enjoying it. And yesterday, a very strange thing happened. Oh, crap. And I'm supposed to show you. Hold on. I always do this. Once again. Where'd it go? Here we go. Oh. I wonder if they're going to catch me with this one day and get mad at me. Well, just so you know, I have 54, 80, 69, 64. Well, all the funny ones. But anyway, so when I was working on the book, I was going through some drawing things that I saw in my journals, which is over here. So I'll just show you the drawings real quick. It's not a big deal. They're not like anything special. But as you can see, it's some sort of, packaging design there going on. Yeah, you probably can't see it. It's okay. but it's a packaging design. And so I came up with this literally when Hope was released 30 years ago, and I was starting to work on what was starting to be the diary. And I had just gotten the Emulator 3 sampler. Like I had just literally gotten it. And I found in this book like an entry that 30 years later literally matches the entry that I made into my journal on Thursday about the emulator that I was playing, which was the software. So let's see. How do I explain this? So literally 30 years ago, I was writing in my journal about the experience of playing a new instrument that I had just gotten. And literally 30 years later, to almost the day, in my journal, I was writing about the physical instrument. Somehow, working on the record 30 years later and coming towards the end of it must have triggered something in my brain that made me want to play with samplers again, and very specifically that sampler. And it was really creepy because I was reading just the journal entries. And I have to tell you, it was really strange because they match so well 30 years later. So somehow I tapped into some weird body memory. And so it got me thinking about body memory. And then I decided I was going to go down the rabbit hole of body memories and share it with you. So that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, but I digress. So the Emulator 3, which I had, looks sort of... Do I have a picture of it, actually? I don't think I have a picture of the Emulator 3, but I have a picture of the Emulator 2, which I'll show you right now because I can. So it looks like this. That's what it looked like, more or less. Mine was a little more refined because I got the one after this. This is the software version of it. But yeah, so I had one of those. And it was very interesting. So not only did I have one, but I got it towards the tail end of Hope, which of course meant I now had this new toy while we were finishing up an album, and I was like very tempted to use it and want to like go back and put stuff on, and I held off, thank God. But the album that was supposed to come right after Hope, which I don't think I've ever talked about it much, but there was an album that was supposed to happen right after Hope in 1994 that was supposed to come before the diary. And basically, I was writing demos, the tape got effed up, and I was never able to recover any of those songs. Well, not exactly. We were able to recover some of them, which became recovered much later on. Sorry, I swapped the chat and I can't see what anybody's writing. So yeah, Twilight Zone moment indeed, Rita. So so where am I going with this? Well, there was an album. It was called Stillness, The Structure of Silence. Yeah, it was a long title. And it's in this book, basically. So some of the songs are here, like... But what was interesting is I literally found in this book... Let's see if I can find it. Where is it? So I had it. Well, I'll play the song first, and then I'll come back to it, I guess. Oh, gosh. I'm being boring because I'm looking through my book, and you guys are like, what is he talking about? What's he on about? Oh, here it is. So this particular song, based on the date before and after it, is literally dated... Fucking weird, man. April 25th, 1993. So this would be 30 years ago. And there's this song that I called Purpose. And this was the first song that I used the emulator on. Like, I can now tell by my journal that this was the first one. So, of course, I changed its name and it became this song. So I'm going to play the song and then we'll come back and then I'll get into the whole body memory thing because it's very interesting. It's a very interesting subject. It's a lot more interesting than I'm making it, actually, except for the Twilight Zone moment, which one could argue was done for dramatic effect, but it wasn't because it really did happen that way. Oh, anyway, I'm going to play something. I'll turn on, I don't know, something. This one. Yeah, that's fine. Faith.
Everybody has a faith. Everybody craves the warm embrace that hides in the depths of adversity and lives in the edges of what we need. 'Cause all we are is all we know. 'Cause everything else no one can show. What is the reason for who we are? Waiting for the answer to drive us far. Sometimes I wish there was a way to bring the calm back in the days when it all seems so exposed. Make it last forever. And all the dreams you did not wish, I'll steal them all from you tonight. All you have to say is go. Make it last forever. Everybody has a faith. Everybody craves the warm embrace. Everybody has a faith. Everybody has a faith. Everybody has a
So, oops. I'm gonna mess everything up tonight on purpose and then just run away because that's kind of like what I wanted to do when I started this thing today. So, so Alex says, so I can't compare with purpose, but faith is wonderful. Thank you. Well, that's the original title. See, in the journal it says purpose, but the lyrics were to the song I just played. So it's interesting because what happened was, well, what happened was, I swear, I wasn't ready for this tonight. But what occurred was that I had gotten this new piece of gear, and it was right as the other record was ending, and so I was writing new songs. But right away on the emulator 3, I discovered a sound that it just it made my whole existence for that year. Basically, it was three things. It was a bass guitar, it was an acoustic guitar that was in there, um, and it was some string sound and some other weird things. There was a lot of weird things in there that I really liked, and basically, I knew I was going into weird territory. Like, I knew I was going to be in diary mode. Now, to be fair, I had used an emu sampler before. In fact, we used one on the Peace album. However, as far as sampling goes, this is for the tech heads. We didn't use the any emulator on Worth, and we didn't use an emu or any sampler other than the MPC on Hope, um, except for my friend Jeff's sampler, which we did some weird things in the end, the tail end of the album. There's something there, but anyway, so there it was that I had this emulator 3 and 30 years ago. But what was weird was that when I was playing the emulator 2 thing 30 years later, I found the same bass sound. So I started messing around with it and it's like, "Oh my god, why am I feeling like I'm in diary mode?" And if you've been following me on Twitter, last week and the week before that, I've been posting weird pictures of bird-like things because I was drawing birds and I was drawn back into the diary art. And it was weird to think, why is this happening to me? Why am I going through this phase? And hence body memory. So, body memory, let's talk about it. So, let's see if I can pull it up and get my notes in order. So, body memory. The idea is that the body can store memories in a bit. Oh, never mind. Oh, fuck. Basically, it's this. Aside from your brain, it's thought that your cells can actually store memories as well. And there's a couple of different types of body memory. And I think I will show them to you. Well, no, I won't show them to you. I'll just read them to you because I don't know. So the first type of, quote, body memory is called procedural memory. And what this means, as I'm reading, is that certain skills or action become second nature to your body over time. So, for example, riding a bike, typing, which doesn't work for me. I don't have body memory for typing. I have to look. But you know what I mean. Things that you do automatically that your body just knows what to do, like a right click on the mouse. You probably don't even know how many times you've right clicked on the mouse or clicked and dragged or, control V, control S. These things that you get so used to doing is called procedural memory. So the second type is called situational memory, which is based on the belief that our body actions are a result of some sort of situation. So, for example, you may behave differently when you're in a work situation than when you're in the comfort of your own home. That's called situational memory. And that's an interesting one. We'll get back to that one. The other three don't really matter as much, but I'll get to them too. The third one is intercorporeal memory. That's a nice long word there. That is basically yawning or like a contagious like aspect. Someone laughs and you laugh, but you don't know what the joke's about. Or someone yawns and suddenly everybody else is yawning. You've had that experience. That is called intercorporeal memory. Not that interesting. Incorporative memory, which refers to the idea that we adjust to certain cultures or customs based on body memory, which, for example, would be like if you go to Japan, people tend to bow as they say hello. And you'll find yourself doing it. And next thing you know, you're doing it all the time because everyone else there is doing it. And it's a cultural thing. So you kind of get used to it. Again, not that important for today's discussion, somewhat unscientific as it may be. The other one is pain memory, which is obvious, that your body starts to experience some sort of reaction because it has experienced some sort of pain. So like flinching when someone raises their hand, that happens to me a lot actually, because when someone puts a finger up and too close to my face, I flinch because I poked myself in the eye once and it really hurt. And I got poked with an antenna. That really hurt. So anything real close to my face makes me flinch. That's called pain memory. And of course, the one that you're probably familiar with, traumatic memory, which is when you experience something that's based on some sort of PTSD effect. So, what I was doing a search for and did not find was this weird thing that happened to me, which was what I would consider to be, yes, you've heard this word before from me, experiential memory. I triggered some sort of memory in some way, not just from my brain, but obviously from my writing, from my drawings, from the music I was making, from the sound design I was doing, that brought me back 30 years into the past when I was working on an album that is 30 years old. And all I was doing was just working on its pages. Because let's put it this way, I wasn't mixing Hope this week. I wasn't laying down tracks. I wasn't mastering. I was literally just putting photos and, you know. So Alex says, I have what's called selective memory. Me too. Me too. I have on hold memory as well, which is funny. But I think that what I'm calling experiential memory is like a symbiotic version of the procedural and situational type. Anyway, what I was trying to figure out was, can I do it on purpose? Can I make that happen on purpose? And if you could, what would the effects be? So these are the experiments. I'm doing all these experiments now. So one thing was to find myself, I don't know, it's just so weird. I think it's weird that I was writing journal entries 30 years later about the same subject in the same moment that I was working on a record that I had finished 30 years ago. I think it was strange. So I wanted to follow this through, you know? So whatever it is, it's weird, I know. But it really happened. I have the proof. I did it. So therefore, there has to be a way to do it again. Consciously. I don't know. So I'm going to try. But anyway, I digress. So in the book, a few days later, I wrote another song that wound up being one of the diary songs. I did not know that this was the first diary song from page 1 with the emulator 3. So therefore, that's the one I want to play next. So anyway, I'm going to play the song and then we'll discuss this further because I can't even believe like the time's going. It's not even going fast enough. I'm like thinking, I hope it's 9 because I'm like nervous tonight now. But it's strange. It's a very strange thing. So anyway, I'm going to play the song and then I'll come back and then you can ask me shit, stuff, topics, whatever it is. All right. Changes.
Different words upon the page, written faithfully like yesterday. I'm still thinking of a past. Just how long does this expect to last?
changes. So yeah, apparently that was written, looks like April 29th of 1993. So that would put it, yeah, just like I'm like within a day of it. So it's been weird, like this really weird thing. So anyway, on and off, I've been trying to talk myself out of getting the emulator 2 plugin, just because I have many samplers. So I've tried to talk myself out of getting it. And I think I'm failing because I even played with it today. I played with it yesterday. I played with it with the day before. So that's funny. Jose Joseph says, was 93 when OJ fled? I don't know. Was it? I wouldn't know. I don't remember. I just know that was a crazy trial. I watched only a little bit on TV, but anyway, we digress. But yeah, so I found myself doing this sound design thing, which obviously led me into Contact again and all the higher end samplers that I own now. And I found my entire Emulator 3 library because one of the reasons I got rid of it was because I was able to load its libraries into Contact. So, and for the nerds, it means I was able to do with software what I used to do with my hardware. So I was able to load my own sounds back in. So, so yesterday, after I put the final page into the book, I was just playing with those sounds and it was so crazy. And Claudio says, hey, if it leads to creating, yep, exactly. Exactly. Oh my. So Wendy says, yes, 1993, I was working at Blockbuster Video then, and we were watching the slow speed chase on small TV. That's crazy stuff, man. Yep. Roger says, F it, play with it. And no, the Northridge happened earlier. I think that was in 90. I remember that because we were recording Peace at the time. The Northridge quake was 90, I believe. Um, for sure. Or was that the San Francisco? I don't know. There's so many quakes here that I forget. I shouldn't say that. Like now I'm like thinking, what if it happens tonight? Would I run or would I just hang? Anyway, I digress. But yeah, so there I was playing with this thing, and it it made me happy. So basically, I feel like I've got a bunch of treasure trove hidden ways of getting into this stuff that I hadn't discovered before. But it's interesting if you, well, I don't know. I can't reveal everything, I guess, but because it would be too crazy. I think somebody would like just think I'm cuckoo nuts more than they normally do. But the reality of it is, oh, Northridge was in 94. Interesting. I wonder if there's a mention of it in here. No. Nope. But yeah, but basically, Hope's journal became the Diaries journal right after. And the other album, the album that was supposed to be, I was so upset that it got destroyed that I didn't want to have anything to do with it. So I was on this kick of like, I don't want to listen to that stuff. I don't want to try to load the sounds anymore. I don't want to do anything with it because I'd had this terrible crash. Hardware, by the way. It's a hardware crash. And people talk about, you know what's funny? I've never had a software crash where I lost a lot of sounds, but I had a hardware crash where I lost a lot of sounds. I think what happened, if I remember correctly, was there was some sort of brownout. And when the power came back, basically all the sequences that were stored on the MPC were damaged, so they wouldn't load. All the drum kits that I had on that same disc wouldn't load, and I didn't have a backup. And the emulator 3 had storage inside of a hard drive. everything that was in the folder of that hard drive was destroyed. Everything else was fine, but just not that folder. So the entire record was basically gone. And, it happens. But, it worked out in the end because obviously then I came back and many, many, many years later and revisited that stuff and found one of the DATs where I'd done some rough mixes. And on that DAT, I found the B-sides and things to Hope, which, before I thought there wasn't any, and there are. And so, I'll do something with those at any rate. But why am I telling you this story? Well, it's the whole experience of going back has made me realize that there are still things to be found that you can dig through in the past. So if you're having trouble with some creative whatever, I hope you're journaling, because journaling at least gets you back to where you were. So it is, in its own way, a form of time travel. There was a movie about that too, right? Oh, yeah, I think so. But anyway, I digress. So at this point in time, obviously, if you like to call me, you can. You guys, should have that, whatevers. There we go. So Dan on YouTube says 1989 was the quake in the Bay Area during the World Series between the San Francisco Giant and the Oakland A's. And that was the earthquake I was in when we were recording Peace. So now I know that was the Bay Area quake. The Northridge one, I remember it, but I don't remember it being that much of a big deal where I was at the time. I was in SoCal, but I don't think we really felt it. But anyway, let's play a song. So I'm going to play another one from that era. So this would have been 1994. And this would have probably been the second song that I wrote for an album that does not really exist, but became Recovered. So this was the other one that I was able to grab. And this one has a lot of Emulator 3 in it. Mostly for the strings and the guitar, which I'd love so much. By the way, the Emu guitar, the acoustic guitar, was prominent on Peace because we used it for Carmen, of course. So finding a better version of it once I got the Emulator 3 made this song happen. So I'm going to play this song and then I'll come back and then maybe you guys can call me or something. Something like that. This is called Sunday.
Sunday morning is not arriving fast enough for me. As I lay here in the darkness, tears are covering me. I want to breathe in the smell of something precious in my head. In the silence, I face the memory of what may now lie dead. Oh, Sunday come. Inside my soul is bare. Oh, Sunday come. Inside my soul's despair. When the sun sees me at my window, set you free from the sand to the sea, from the plains and the trees. Can you hear me now? From the dust to the lies and the wind that our cries. Can you touch me now? From the light to the sky, I see angels collide. Can you see me now? From the dirt on my shoes to the wisdom of fools. Can you feel me now? Like an ocean of hands, from the sun to the land. Can you breathe me now? Could you breathe me now? Could you breathe me now? Someone to know me.
And that was Sunday. Yeah, that was definitely a lot of Emulator 3 going on in there. And it was a very, very interesting instrument. But it's more interesting as software because I can get in there now in a way that I couldn't get in before. I literally, like, I could show you this. This is so funny. Well, it wouldn't be funny if I wrote in this book. I don't care because I write in books anyway. So you see this? This little square that I'm making? That was the size of the entire LCD on the Emulator 3. But if you knew what was inside the Emulator 3, it was this vast, vast array of capability, but I couldn't access it. So you only had very few controls that you could actually manipulate. Hence, in many ways, the Emulator 2 was cooler because at least you had some physical controls. And I didn't have a computer back then. I found out later that if you connected an Apple II to it, there was software that allowed you to change things. But I was not as sophisticated and did not have the dough for such a thing back then. I had scraped off enough money to get the Emulator 3 to begin with, which is pretty miraculous in of itself. In and of itself, I was going to say. But yeah, so it was a difficult thing to program. So I stuck to mostly basic things, which is why eventually I started to get bored with it because programming it was a chore. Later on, when I transferred the sounds over, many, many years later, I think it was Reason was the first program that I used that had a capable sampler in it. And I transferred my sounds into it. And I have my entire Emulator 3 library in my Reason sampler. I have it in my Contact sampler. So the sounds I have, so I don't need the sounds I had for that time period because I have them. But I like the idea of the programming of it is different. So that's what I wanted to try. Anyway, I guess we can put that topic to rest as we approach the hour, and we do. So the next hour will be, the normal stuff, whatever that is. I'll figure something out. But anyway, it was strange. It was strange to feel like I'd gone back in a weird way, like subconsciously, and what I was getting out of it was good. It led to a plethora of drawings this week, which is great. But I wound up minting nothing. I missed Tezo's Tuesday as a consequence of this. And a couple other things that I was trying to catch up, but I made time this week to write the article on changing your name in your wallet. And I wrote this really creepy, weird article on AI, which is kind of funny and you know, just funny. You can find it, of course, on my because well, not for long. I shouldn't say that. I'm gonna keep writing in there, obviously, but the NPOP site is going to have its blog back because it's there's some stuff that I have to tie to the books. It's a long story, but there's a lot of logistical things ahead. So this week should be a lot easier because it's all the grunt work, which I don't mind doing, versus all the more delicate picking photographs and whatnot. But I must say it's coming out really good. I'm really happy that it's done because now I get to move on to the real one that I wanted to work on. Because obviously, look, I gotta be honest with you. I don't want to work on something that's 30 years old and pretend it's new because it's 30 years ago. So I don't want to. It's not that I didn't want to work on it. I just wanted to be able to do something special for it. So then I can get back to the new record that I was working on, which I am almost there. So I can finally get back to that. So I'll have almost a whole month to work on the new record. So we'll see how far I get on that book. The difference between the two, by the way, is that the Hope book is drawing from the past. So everything is from the past. So it's easy. What did I paint in 1992? Oh, that thing. Oh, what else did I do? Oh, what else did we use? Oh, that photo, that drawing. It's easy, sort of. You know what I mean? It's like a curated effort, but it's stuff that already exists, so I don't have to make anything new. But for the new record, everything is new. So, well, the songs are actually older, but the artwork is new. So all the art is new. So as I'm doing it, I'm actually creating it. So that's a little different. Um, Although I have to say, I did do that too. I worked on it this week, so it's been a good week. I feel like it was a really long but stupidly productive week. So that makes me happy. I'm good when I'm productive. I'm very depressed when I'm not. So I may have had like a little hour here, a little half hour there, but this week I was in top form. I was like doing it, man. So I'm happy. So anyway, if you won't, you can, I think, let's see. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So you can call me if you want and we can chat. And by the way, I actually found a couple more covers that I forgot about that I didn't play last week or the week before. So I do have those under my belt. Um, and anyway, but so yeah, feel free to call me. And hopefully I will answer. Until then, if you didn't get the number, sorry. I posted it was right on the video. If you were watching, you could see it. But anyway. What a day. I wasn't ready today, can you tell? But that's because I've been working so hard on this other stuff. Honestly, I've been working really hard. And I don't know. I feel like I have like a bunch of stuff to go through. Like I found a folder yesterday that had 6 other songs in it that I hadn't seen in a long time, and I was like, "Oh my god, there's more stuff." Like, I don't know. When I pass, somebody's going to have a field day on my computer. The things they will find. Not bad stuff, but you know what I mean. The stuff they're going to find is like, where was he hiding all this stuff? Like I have like songs hidden under pillows and shit. I don't know. It's weird. I think I'm weird, but that's okay. It's all right. I'm feeling good. So I guess I should play a song then. Well, I'm going to play a song that got destroyed. I tried to recreate it, but I was never able to get it the way that it sounded on this demo. So I'm going to play a song that was written with the not the emulator, but the Emacs. And it was what was leading me up to wanting to get the emulator. And we have a phone call.
Call from. To accept, press 1. To
Uh,
send a voicemail,
hmm,
press 2.
they did not give their name. Hello?
Hello.
You're on the air.
Hey, Claude. Good evening.
Good evening. And who is this?
This is Dan.
How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing great. Hey, in you talking about some of these subjects, um, as far as the old, the new, I can't wait for the book to come out, and hopefully you'll post it, you know, on here because I don't follow social media of any kind anymore. But I do follow this podcast almost every Friday
That's really nice of you, man.
with
But
my friend.
can I ask you a question? This
Yeah,
is
of course.
it's just I'm curious. So no social media at all? Like no sites for anything?
Um, no, for the most part. So we've talked a couple of times in the past. So I'm the guy that works up here in Colorado, NORAD, Northcom. You know, the balloon thing we talked about,
Ah,
all this stuff. So I'm inundated with all kinds of stuff. So for the most part, I stay away from a lot of the social media. It tends to, in my opinion, as
hey, it
far as
makes us
like
all
the
cuckoo,
close
man.
family and friends,
Yep.
it divides people. So I kind of like tend to steer clear from that. I'll instead of following social media, I'll tend to like read stuff. Um, I'll log on a BBC every day, read some stuff. I follow bands and that I like, and do that thing. But I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on any of that other stuff. Um,
Good for you.
but I do follow this podcast almost every week if I'm able to. So hopefully I can find out. If not, I got two friends that are listening right now as well. That they'll let me know when the book comes out
I'm
because
definitely
I
gonna
will
let you
definitely
know.
order that.
I'll
Yeah,
definitely not
so
let you know.
I'll definitely
Um,
I'll definitely order that because I'm into the nostalgia, but I also like the new stuff. Just like I've followed your stuff throughout your career, so
well, thank you, thank you.
I'm down with the old and the new. Um,
So,
but yeah,
no, no, no. Sorry, I was gonna say one thing you can do if you want. I'm not asking you to go on
yeah,
social, but
absolutely.
on Bandcamp and on YouTube, there's what they call the community forum, right? Which is like basically I'll where I can drop a picture in and people can comment. So if you're subscribed and I do that, you would get a notification. And the same goes for Bandcamp. If you follow me on Bandcamp, when I post something there, it'll go to only followers. And it's not really a public forum. It's kind of closed, meaning that unless you're following me, you can't actually post there. So it's not like a traditional social media. It functions more like a kind of like a BBC board. And I haven't used it as much as I should because it's actually quite good. But I'm going to be using it more. I'm heading in the direction that you're heading. Although I have to say, because of what I do for a living, it's almost impossible to do things without social media. Like, I'll give you a really good example. Like this week, sorry, last week, I had a meeting and it was about, the promo stuff for South America. And they were like, you're going to have to do some videos on Facebook and do some blah, blah, blah. And a lot of it was Facebook centric. And I'm not that fond of Facebook anymore. And I'm like, really, do I have to? And they're like, well, you do because you have a lot of followers there. So if you don't do it, then we're going to miss out on promo opportunities. And I'm like, yes, I know. So it's that weirdness. Like I have to, there's a part of me that feels like I have to, but I totally understand because I can tell you when I'm on there, it, it seems to suck the life out of you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I'm totally
it's
with you
definitely
there.
gotten exhausting to a certain extent. But so I'm subscribed to your YouTube thing. So what else is there that I can do on the YouTube piece?
If you are, then you're fine. When I do the
Okay.
announcement, if I don't
So
make a
yeah,
video and I just post something, you'll
but
see it.
yeah,
So,
I just don't ever remember getting a notification. Like I had to like I texted my friends tonight. I'm like, hey, is Claude doing a stream tonight? Like I'm
ah,
subscribed,
you
but
can
I
do
don't get a
the.
notification.
That's funny. You could do the whole like the notification bell in YouTube, and then it'll tell you. Like it'll tell you only when I publish
Uh,
videos. It won't tell you. It'll only tell you when I publish a video or if I posted a picture. That's it. So
okay,
that's a good way
gotcha.
in
Okay,
case. But yeah, I will do
just
it.
figured that out right now. Okay, I got that right now. So
Yay.
yeah, I'm personalized now.
So this is a good
As
time to
a
tell people,
subscription.
right? Hit that bell.
Yeah, yeah,
Subscribe and hit that
yeah.
bell.
I'm figuring out slowly, but I stay away from most of that stuff,
Yeah.
just
So
because of all the negativity that's gone with it lately. So
so you guys must be really busy right now, huh? Like with all the crap going on. Oh man.
no, it's all good. It's funny though because someone gave me a patch, because they know that I work there, which has like a picture of Winnie the Pooh
That's
with
so
a
funny.
balloon in the background that says float around. It says float around and find out. And it says 2023 and with like a balloon being popped. Like, if you float around long enough, you'll find out and then you'll get popped.
That's so funny.
So yeah, I carry now that on a backpack that I have for disc golf and people are stopping me going, hey, what's that? Like,
That's
is
so
that what I
funny.
think it is? And I'm like, yes, it is.
Side comment.
Yeah. Uh,
Side comment that has nothing to do with
yeah.
anything other than the fact of
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh. Did you hear there's a story going around that they're doing a reboot? Yeah, another reboot of Winnie the Pooh, but they're going to make it rated R because there's blood and guts and everything.
Because the copyright ran out.
So everybody can do Winnie the Pooh. So,
Right. And
oh
so
my
the
God,
thing
it's
is
so
now
funny.
the next thing is going to be Mickey Mouse.
Oh, that'll be
Because
fun though.
right, but the thing is that Disney has changed so you can do the original Mickey Mouse character in black and white here coming shortly. But the Mickey Mouse that has then been updated to what you and I know of from Southern California, that still has many more years.
That's so strange, man.
There's different legal arguments that they can make based on the continuing Disney. I'm sure the lawyers will extend it beyond that, but the Winnie the Pooh thing, yeah, that's totally because that legally there's no more copyright on that. So now, yep, I'm sure we'll see other things besides horror movies.
I just thought that one was really funny though. Supposedly he's supposed to be like strung out and on drugs.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but I'm sure it's
Oh
like
man.
everything else, and
I'm like,
we can twist
really?
it to whatever anything that we can think of.
That's so
So
funny. That's hilarious,
yeah,
man. People do anything for money.
I know.
Yeah. So what do you want to
But
hear?
anyways, I'm hoping to see you sometime when I go back to California. I will keep checking when you're playing live. But anyways, yeah, going back to what I would love to hear, I'll go back to my favorite album, Electrodelica and Astral
Ooh.
Conscious.
Oh,
Pick it up
interesting.
from where we were going before.
I think we're good because that one's a funny one. Let me see if I can pull it up. In fact, yes. It actually fits in because this was one of the first ones, or I should say, this was one of the last ones where I used the emulator, which is interesting. So this is one of the last ones that used it because by then I had gotten like a bunch of other gear. So anyway, thank you,
Yeah,
Dan. You picked a
I'm
good
just a
one.
novice, so I know what I like, and I like all your stuff. So,
Ah, thank you.
anyways, thank you so much, Claude.
Thank you.
Buenas noches.
Have a good weekend, man.
All right, you too.
And here we are. Conscious.
inside, hazy as can be, leave traces of who we used to be. And they say, how does it feel to know that you're real? How does it feel? How does it feel to know that you're real? How does it feel? We could write a symphony and go across the ocean and still never feel the earth inside us. Every little girl or boy becomes a hollow shell, but don't cry. Remember all the fun and let's sing. How does it feel to know that you're real? How does it feel? How does it feel to know that you're real? How does it feel? How does it feel to know that you're real? How does it feel? How does it feel to know that you're real? How does it feel?
Uh-oh.
This is side 2.
Huh? Indeed. So, I need someone to help me out. So, there's a series on Netflix that is, I believe, a German series that's been translated. And it's about a ship that goes back and forth in time, and the passengers are all like, it's a freaky series, and it has to do with time travel and these ships. And if you haven't seen it, damn, go see it. It's so good. But the title of the series is eluding me. So if someone wants to do a search and help me, help me. Um, because, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because on that series, I heard a sound, two or three sounds that were amazing, amazing feats of sound design. And it sort of helped me out. Like, it was a weird thing. I was um, trying to figure out what they were doing. And obviously, I was like, okay, that must be it sounds like it's a flugelhorn of some sort. And so let me see. Hold on. Let me see. I'm going to try. I think I can do it. Uh, uh, And of course, I don't see it now. Wait, was that it? Nope. I can't find it. No. Ah. Well, we will ah anyway, I digress. There's a few. It's not Loki, it's not Doctor Who, it's not Traveler, it's not 12 Monkeys. No, not Outlander. Darn it. Mm. It's basically, I don't know if you've seen the one called Dark. If you've seen Dark, then it's the same director, I believe. It's the same uh it's shot in the similar style and it's got the same type of soundtrack. It's very glitchy, very cool, but there's a sound in there that I heard that is like a cross between a cello and some sort of flugelhorn. And but the way that it was done was so good that it like literally inspired me to like recreate the sound from scratch. I was like, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. So I wound up making the sound, but then I was like, well, I don't want to copy it, obviously, because I don't want to copy the thing. So it was the starting point, and then I started to like mess with it, and that's what started to lead me into the sampling territory again. And I've never been fond of, as you know, it's gonna sound kind of shitty, but I've never been fond of flutes and I've never been really fond of horns. So like saxophones, things like that. I've never been fond of horns. I'm not a horns guy. Very into strings though. But this particular show, let's see, did someone bring it up? Yeah, that's the one. 1899. Oh my god, yes, 1899. Badass. So anyway, that series literally got me back into horns. Like it threw me back into horns because they use them in such a strange way that I loved it. Like I absolutely loved it. Yeah, horns are fantastic in ska music. And actually I used them before a long time ago when I was in like my little reggae phase. Um so so I obviously have used horns before, but I tend to not, it's not like a go-to for me. So I shouldn't say I don't like horns. I shouldn't say I don't like flutes. Flutes and horns are not my go-tos. I tend to like if I'm gonna do horns or woodwinds, I tend to go more for the oboes and things like that. That kind of sound. More square-ish. But yeah, man, if you haven't seen 1899, watch that one. It's so good. Um, I definitely want to watch it again. But if you pay attention to the sound design, such amazing sounds there. And that's what made me, that's another one that was making me want to go back to the sampler and go, oh, I used to do this, layer with that, and then put it through this, layer it back, sample it, resample it. So anyway, great stuff. Brian Spencer says woodwinds. Yeah, woodwinds. Yeah, like oboes, clarinets. I love that kind of stuff. But I tend to not like trumpets as much or, tubas, that kind of thing. But recently, like I said, I've actually gone back on that because of the way that certain things you can do with them sound design wise that are really amazing. So anyway, yeah, 1899 gets my vote. It's so good. Such a good series. I hope the new one is out. I haven't checked, but I hope the newer one is out. But the very first um that first season is amazing, man. Ah, literally. But yes. And Wendy says it's actually on my watch list. Yeah, you better watch it. Let's see. Sorry, I'm reading your comments and they're scrolling by. Like, be patient with me because sometimes they scroll by so fast that I can't. Like something really cool has come and then I'm like, I didn't see it. So like here's a few I missed. So Lalo on Facebook says, so eager to meet you soon, my friend. Me too, man. I can't wait to get to Lima. It's gonna be so much fun. And I'm going to Oroya. So that's going to be awesome. Brian Spencer, many seldom get the opportunity to express their gratitude directly to an artist that has had an impact on their being. I'd like this opportunity to formally say thank you, Claude. That's nice of you, man. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Um, I'm just ordinary. But let's see, let's see. Oh, and that's where this whole side tangent came from this comment. So Ren on YouTube asks me, Claude, have you ever tried to use a pan flute in any song? Being from South America, it is such an important instrument and very unique. You're right. It is from South America and it is very unique. However, I was born in Argentina. In Argentina, the pan flute is not as prominent of an instrument as it is in some of the other countries. Don't get me wrong. I love pan flute. Um, and as a matter of trivia, did you know that the pan flute that you hear in Sledgehammer is actually from an emulator too? It is. You can look it up. So, anyway, yeah, the pan flute that you hear in Sledgehammer is from an emulator too, or three maybe, one of the two, because he had both probably. He's probably had every emulator that ever came out, but yeah, and he used a Fairlight, but the emulator too did the pan flute. So, as I was saying, would I use a pan flute? If the song called for it, I wouldn't do it on purpose. So it wouldn't be like again, I don't go to a sound and say, I'm going to use this sound because of X, Y, and Z. I will use that sound because I'm drawn to it for whatever reason. So I haven't had a song with a pan flute in it yet. However, one instrument that I love a lot, which is from my South American heritage, is the accordion. And more specifically, el bandoneon. And I even said it in Spanish. El bandoneon, which is like a lower register type of accordion. And it sounds flippin' amazing. And when I had the emulator, I was thrilled to find really good samples of, accordions and things like that. So I've always loved them. But seldom have I used them. So, it's one of those things. But, and let's see. Oh, wow. Now it's like scrolling. Correct. The ones that are used in tango music, but you could play them and they can be like super, super dark. In fact, I think I can show you that because I can. Let's see. Because I was just playing it. Let's see if I can pull up my favorite of those, because I have a few and they're just out there, man. So this sound that you're about to hear, this is so funny. I was able to load it quick, and this is what I love about computers. So this is an accordion, but it's been claudicized. What that means is it's no longer what it was. So by itself, I think it sounds like this. Let's see if I can. So, and then there's that. You hear it? That's the ghosts. Those are the ghost reverbs in there. Anyway, sounds something like this when it gets sound designed. See? That's what you can do with an accordion sound. Badass. So anyway, yeah. The 1899 thing reminded me of those kinds of sounds, and I was like, oh man, I need to find that. So anyway, now that I've got my entire Emulator 3 library up and running, anyway, I'm joking. I don't think I'm going to play like a lot of stuff like that because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But anyway, I'm going to play a song. Okay, let's play a song. So, because I don't want to do everything being like slow and malarkey-ish, let's play something a bit more upbeat. This particular remix of Where is Love and Happiness features some slight instruments from the Emulator 3, and I think it was just in the weird percussive things. But again, it was new when I got it, and this needed to be done, so it was one of those things like I need to find something that I can put in this song. But anyway, I'll play the song and shut up. So yeah, I had to play something more upbeat because it's been like more of the grungier, darker things. But it's okay. Believe it or not, I've got nothing against a good beat, and I've got nothing against all dreary and dark either. Because I kind of oscillate, or yeah, between the two. Ah, Steve, bringing up the omnichord yet again. I don't know. I'd have to practice. I haven't. It's in my closet. It's like right there. But I think it needs batteries. So I have to go buy batteries for it. And I don't know. Maybe we'll do something. But I don't know that the whole 2 hours I'm gonna play. Ah. Well, thank you. Um, right? But yeah, I don't know that I can do 2 hours of omnichord. It'd be like, I don't know, a renaissance, like a renaissance show or something. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, recapping the last 2 hours. Body memory, I think, is a real thing. Um, you can do it, he says. But yeah, so anyway, I'm going to be studying this subject and doing some oddball experiments. Which, by the way, it's funny how it says, like, if you look this stuff up, like body memory, there's all these articles, and this is just my way, okay? Don't judge. But what happens is this: I will go to all these different medical papers where they talk about it, and then they'll say that this hasn't been validated. What I like to do is go to the CIA site and do FOIA requests, and then do body memories, and then you get all the like top secret shit that was like unredacted, and then you can see like how much interest they took in it. Because if something piques the interest of the CIA, that they fund a lot of studies, you can bet it's real. So anyway, that's just my take on that. But so yeah, body memory in a creative format. Well, it's interesting, right? That's the way I do it. Mai says, nice backdoor approach. Exactly. That's how I do it, because I figure if something seems to be like not on the up and up with everybody else, I want to know what the FBI the FBI and the CIA think about it. If they do extensive studies on the subject, then there's some serious stuff going on if they care that much. Yes, exactly. Brian says MK Ultra wouldn't be a thing if there wasn't a possibility. This is true. This is true. You know how many people still don't believe that that was real? So, anyway, that's that side of me that, is a little goes in that direction. But it's okay, because I like finding out about things that could improve creativity and experience, because creativity and experience are what I thrive on. That's how I create things. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't create things. So anything that helps, Anyway, so let's see, where are we? Oh boy. I think it just crashed, didn't it? Nope. There it is. That's the number. If you want to call me, you can. And I will talk to somebody. Meanwhile, of course, but it's 562-380-0626. It's funny. I don't think that there's anyone else that's doing what I'm doing, taking live calls on the stream the way I do. I don't. If there is, tell me who it is, because I want to know. But I don't think anyone else is doing this quite this way. And we got a caller.
Call from
Liam.
to accept.
Hello, Liam. You are on the air, my friend.
Hello, Quad. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really, really good, actually.
Thanks again for doing this every week for all of us. I think it's amazing, and
well, thank you.
I think for some of us, it's a form of music therapy in a way.
Ooh, explain.
No, I mean, music is therapy for all of us. I don't know what I would do without it, to be
Oh
honest.
no, no,
And yours is a big part of that.
thank you, man. Thank you so much for that. I will tell you this. I could not live without it. I couldn't live without music. Um, so, it's a funny thing that, like I don't know, like, do you think that anyone that's below the age of 20 understands music the way that we all do past that age? Like, since we lived through the 80s and some of us actually lived through the 70s, but can you imagine, like, when it gets to the point where everything is completely automated and there's nothing left, there's no humans involved?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Yeah, I think the older that we are, the more we know about music, and our tastes are refined in music and other types of art. But I think when we were that age, we were good at finding good music, and they probably are too. But it's too big. It was a lot smaller when we were young. You just go to a record store, you hear it on the radio, go to a club.
Yeah, but we experienced it. That's the difference. So like,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you have
it's
a
a
point there.
weird thing.
Yeah.
Like we experienced music. Like you're right. We went to a record store, we flipped through records, or your friend would say like, "Hey, I heard this song on the radio. You got to hear it. What station was it on?" And then, that kind of thing. Or you would find a new station that you never heard of that was coming out of a college, and you would always hear something. Now, I'm not saying that you can't do that with Spotify or with like more specifically YouTube, because YouTube is actually a great source of music. You can find a lot of great stuff on YouTube when it comes to music. But I mean, like, I saw something the other day that was kind of disturbing, which was, now that we're on the subject, sorry. So, but
No, it's fine. Yeah.
so I just want your opinion. So I saw this thing where did you hear about this song that AI put together, which is Drake and The Weeknd? So he put the two of them together, basically using Drake's voice to write a whole new song. And the music came from the style of The Weeknd, but it's neither of them really doing it. It's like almost like, I don't know, the best I can call it is a photocopy of them doing it. And it went viral. And so now the record company's trying to stop it because they're like, it's not really Drake. You know what I mean? But people are like, I don't care. I like it as Drake, even though it isn't Drake. It's AI Drake, but it's okay. It's still Drake to me. And so now people are like making their own versions of said song as if it were Drake, but it isn't Drake. So I'm like wondering, like, that's now. Can you imagine like 4 years from now? Like, will anything that we hear be real?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, that's where we're at. There's no question about that. I think there's a couple sides of that. One is, the legal publishing rights to somebody's likeness or their voice. I think they're going to have to deal with that. But for me, as a fan, I'm not going to listen to it. I might hear it somewhere because somebody's, showing it, but I'm not going to put it on my, download it or anything like that if it's not the artist.
Like my feeling would be like I'm scared of it, but not in the way that one would think. Like I don't care if someone actually made, like, I don't know. It's not about the money part because I don't care. Like I never cared about the MP3 thing. Like I don't care about the money part. Um it's not so much that. It's the idea of, but it's not me. Like if someone said, "Wow, this new Anything Box song," like, I don't know, Living in Oblivion 2026, but done with with David Bowie singing and blah blah blah, and it's like, has like a big chorus, and it's like, it may sound cool enough that I would be like, "Damn, that does sound really good. Man, I did a good job," but it's not me.
well, well, that brings up a good point. So, how would you feel about not maybe a new song, but AI remixing one of your songs, and then you getting the publishing rights for that?
Um I don't know. I don't know actually. I wouldn't care. Like I guess I would just I wouldn't care. So it's a good question. And you asked me a really good one. So I guess because this used to come up again with like, for example, friends of mine know that I turned down once a beer thing, and it was worth a lot of money. Okay. It was worth a lot at the time. It was worth about 80 grand. Like I literally was going to get
Wow.
80 grand in my hand to give them a song and let them use it for their beer commercials. And the reason that I chose not to was because in the end was because of a sample that was in it. And I was like, I don't want to cause this mess that it's going to cause because I had a sample in it. And then that was the first one. And then the second one was I
Can
don't
you
drink.
tell us what song that was?
Yeah, I can tell you what song it was. It was Clean. It was a song called
Oh,
Clean.
nice. That's a
And
great song. Yeah.
and as a matter of consequence, it was Budweiser, I think. But they have their own thing going on right now. But not getting into that subject. But the whole point is I didn't drink beer. I didn't drink that particular beer. So it was like, is it right for me to take this 80 grand since I don't drink the beer and I'm not really interested because it's going to involve all this copyright crap? So to answer your question, if someone offered me money, right? Like, so if someone said, all right, I'll give you 50 grand to put this version of the song together and you'll get the publishing, whatever, and we're going to let AI remix it, I'd probably be like, okay, so long as you're not going to put it in some weird products that I would not be part of, like, I don't know, whatever it is. Um, it's as long as I liked the thing that they were promoting. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
then again, it's still icky because didn't New Order do Blue Monday for car commercial? And I don't know. Every time I hear it, I'm like, I get mad. I'm like, that was like my go-to back then. I'm like, I don't want to hear that in a car commercial. Like it kind of pisses me off in a weird way. And I'm not mad at them that they made money from it. I'm just mad that it's representing a car commercial. And, so it's kind of like I have a weird relationship with that stuff. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't
Well,
know.
it's interesting hearing it from an artist's perspective, though, because we don't get to hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well,
But
like,
anyway,
sorry.
the reason I called was, you were talking about the diary, and I was a little bit late to the party on the diary, I must admit, but I'm curious, like, what did you artistically, like the concept of the diary? I don't think I've ever heard you describe, like, when you decided to kind of go that direction, what that process was like.
um, the beginning of it was that I just wanted to do something that could be post-punk slash gothic and be okay in that space without having anything box centric stuff in it. Meaning, uh, you know, A box has its own thing, right? So we'd already had hits on the radio. We were already touring. So it was like, let's now get two guitars, a bass, drums, and let's do a punk thing. Wasn't going to happen, right? So it was a way to explore another side of my personality because everybody doesn't really know this, but I was always into the post-punk thing and the no wave scene, the noise scene, all that kind of stuff. I was always into it. So I wanted to do something that I could sink my teeth into that was completely different and not upset, the A-box side of things. But as time went on, I sort of assimilated it into anything box. So that's why the diary and the Electrodelica sounds like it has diary overtones because by then I didn't care anymore. I was like, if we want that sound in there, we put it in there. If we don't want it to be that way, we don't. So then we kind of absorbed it, but in the beginning it was meant to be a specific thing. And not to be nerdy technical about it, but one of the things that set that first diary album apart was it was a very decisive, these are the four sounds. It's going to be this bass as a bass guitar, these guitars put through, or this synth as a guitar, put through all these pedals, this particular drum kit. You can tune it, you can affect it, you can do things to it, but you can't swap out the drum sounds like you do with anything box or anything, whatever sound you want, you put in there. So it was a very restrictive in that sense, and it gave it its sound. So I wanted something that was like by itself. And then it became, like I said, like if you follow the diary at all, then it became weirder. It's like, okay, so I did that. So now the next one will be completely post punk, but with synths in it. And then the third one is a straight up blues album, but with weird effects. So it is a strange trip, when I go into Diary Land. But I don't think there's a fourth Diary album in the works. I think what'll happen is if I want Diary elements, they're just going to show up in the Anything Box fold.
Yeah, it's all merged. But I've always loved when artists did a side project that was just a little bit different. It just kind of shows how talented you are.
Not if I released this one that I have under my belt that like would really piss people off. So
it would really what?
It would piss people off. I have one project that I've never released that I worked on for like, I don't know, 4 months. I've never released it. It's a project called Sere Uno, right? Which means I will be one, right? And this is hilarious. The whole album is called Peace, and all the song titles are from the first album, but the entire record is a noise record. If you ever heard noise music, have you ever heard noise music? Yeah, it's a total noise record, completely destroying every single song and turning it into nothing but noise. Like
I said music is therapy for me. Was that therapy for you?
It was. I did it. I had so much fun doing it. And then when it was done, when it was almost done, I was like, you really can't put this out, right? Like, you really can't. No one's ever going to understand whatever reason you think you have in your head for why you think you need to do this. No one is going to understand it. It's like Kiss of Love. Oh,
that's
man.
Hilarious.
I'll have to play one of them on one of the streams, but it was just, I'm telling you, that'll be the moment. I think I'm tuning out for this one. It's so funny. But yeah, but I do go into different territories, but it's okay. I kind of have more restraint now, where I kind of know. I think I know anyway. Like it's a strange thing because it brings up this whole touring thing. If I'm touring, right, and I'm going to a city that I haven't been to in a while, the fans want to hear what they want to hear. So it's not like I can, suddenly break out these weird tracks that they've never heard before. I'll do one or two maybe, but I know the stuff they want to hear. So it's like, I get it. The first 3 albums and a little bit of Distances and a little bit of Electrodelica is fine, but, and all that. But I already know, like, Peace, Worth, Hope are their favorite ones. And those are the ones that people want to hear stuff from the most. So it's kind of funny. But yeah. So what do you want to hear?
Well, we're talking about the Diary. You mentioned the first album. I don't think enough love's been given to the song Contempt.
Ooh.
I really like that song, and I think it's appropriate for the current political situation we seem to be in. At least the name of the title of the song is.
Oh yeah, it's you know what's funny, right? So no, I can't tell you, because if I tell you, it'll ruin the song for you. So I can't tell you. But there's a funny lyric in there. There's a lyric in there that if you hear it, it's making reference or giving the middle finger to a pop song that was very, very famous in 1994. So I flipped the script on a lyric on purpose to give a finger to a song that was out on the radio.
Very nice.
Maybe I'll tell everyone what that was, but I can't do it now. But I'll play it.
Okay, very good.
All right.
And do me a favor and say hello to Amy.
Hi, Amy.
And you have a lovely evening. This is wonderful what you do.
Thank
And
you. Thank you.
it's a great community. Thank you so much.
Thank you to you, and thank you to Amy. And here we go. Contempt.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Sometimes all we want to do is die, 'cause everything they taught us was a lie. No one cares for anyone you are, nothing to remind us of how far. All of us have got to go nowhere, still an empty thought of return. Something has to change or simply break, before all of the madness of the text. It means nothing at all. It means nothing at all. It means nothing at all. We've lost all feeling from the side. We've lost all feeling. Somewhere in the back of someone's mind, they sit around just waiting for a sign. No one to believe or comprehend. The feeling of injustice will not end. Time is standing farther every day. Silence is achieved by what's not said. Everything will end inside of me. Everything will end up with a scream. It means nothing at all. It means nothing at all. It means nothing at all. We lost all feeling and control. We lost all feeling. Someone on the news has just been killed. All this need for blood has been fulfilled. I can see the weakness and decay. I can't seem to make it go away. It means nothing at all. 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 It means nothing at all.
So funny. Yeah. That one line. But it was just funny. It's not, it's just that I think the stupid song had come on and I incorporated it into what I was doing. And then I was like, oh, cool. I'll just keep it and it'll be like a big to that song. But it's not a bad song. I just, it's just the way I am sometimes. That's all. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? So before I take us out, it sounds bad. So it's a twofer that's going to end this thing. So I found two covers that I had done that, that I had forgotten about. So I'm going to do a twofer for the end as I turn things off and all that stuff. Tonight, I am going to cut it out at 10 on the nose. So it's because I haven't eaten dinner, and somebody's saying like, it's almost dinner time. I'm like, it's 10 o'clock, but it's almost 10. 2 hours is difficult because this is This is more nerve-wracking than doing a show. I want you to know that. Like, it's different when I'm playing live. Like, if I am in front of a crowd of people and I'm feeling energy, like it's a very different feeling than being in this chair in my very weird personal little room, knowing that everyone's just listening to what I'm saying. It's a strange thing. It's really, really strange, to be honest. Even after all this time, I think I've gotten better at it, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, have I gotten better at it? Anyway, so I'm going to end it off with two covers, and they're going to be back to back because one is really short. And to show you how much I was into the noise band thing, I actually did a cover of a Neubauten song, and which, by the way, the particular album that it comes from is really good, but I digress. So I'm going to play this weird version of a very strange song by Neubauten. I can't say the whole name, but you know, the German band. And then I'll end it off with a cover of a John Lennon song, which I've never released. And that will be that. Wow, everything's being noisy today. I see. So anyway, I want you to have a good weekend. Yes, I just can't say it, Todd. Einsteins and Neubauten. But yes, whom I had the pleasure of being in a studio next to. But so I'm going to play the Neubauten cover followed by the John Lennon cover, and that will end the evening. So I will turn on the moon overhead, which hopefully will rotate. Rotate moon. Rotate. Okay, doesn't want to rotate, but oh, there it goes. Oh, it's trying. Anyway, silence is sexy. First.
to be loved. Love is touch. Touch is love. Love is reaching. Reaching love. Love is asking to be loved. Love is you. You and me. Love is knowing we can be. Love is free. Free is love. Love is living. Living love. Love is needing to be loved. To be loved. To be loved.
Good night.
I'm part of it. Can't you see it?